Okay, so yeah, before we start this video, I just want to show you guys this right above me. So yeah, this is what had the highest percentage, right? This right here. So yeah, I don't know if this is a different name to say Musashi, because yeah, that's how I know her name. Unless that's her first name or something like that. What is it? Shimousa, I think how you say it. But basically, yeah, I'm be looking at the lore of this right here. And it had like what 50% for this right here. So yeah, don't worry. So yeah, I will be doing another one, right? But basically, I will be doing the one that had the second most highest percentage, right? I don't know for sure right now. Yeah, I got to look back at it. Yeah, I really mainly looked at the one with the highest. But yeah, I will be doing the one with the second highest, right? So yeah, don't worry about that. So yeah, I know if yeah, some people strongly wanted me to look at another one, then yeah, I'll be looking at that as well. Um, but yeah, I really don't got much else to say. Um, yeah, I am gonna look at all 40 minutes. I was probably gonna yeah, I was actually about to do just 20 minutes for one part and then 20 for the other. But I think I might yeah just look at the whole entire thing here. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much about it. So yeah, I actually yeah, looking forward to this as well. I'm actually happy because you know what? Yeah, I actually wanted you guys to vote for this because it's like yeah, I wanted to know about more about Musashi, right? Um, and it's not because yeah, they really don't show much about it. Well, actually, that's probably the main reason. But it's just that yeah, I wanted to know more about her because yeah, they really for what I can see, right? I do see some things of her, right? But I don't see too much. So yeah, I get to see this. And then also I guess yeah, some other characters that you know were around her or whatever are involved with her, right? Just like yeah, I guess these four right here, or whatever. I guess you can only see two, but yeah, it's four. But yeah, I'm gonna just start it up right here. I don't want to make this intro too long. I'm pretty sure it's already like 2 minutes or so. But yeah, hope you guys will enjoy this. Make sure you like and subscribe, and yeah, let's get this reaction started.
I just took what they gave me, did all the favors, they never repay me. It worked in my favor, cause nobody.
Brand new whip, got no keys. Tell them my clothes, no starch, please. Soon as you can go leave. Got M's in the bank, like yes, indeed. Cartier glasses, I won't even peek at you. Yellow Ferrari, like Pikachu. I got him waiting and watching what he gon' do. Tryna pee what I do, tryna steal my move. 2500 for a new pair of tennis shoes, the same price.
Welcome back to Otaku Daikun. Dai here. It's time to continue our lore of Fate Grand Order, progressing through the sub-arc Epic of Remnant. After turning little old Fergus into the ultimate bro, we return to our mission of eliminating demon gods.
Okay, so yeah, here we
Before that,
go.
however, Ritsuka is whisked away into a different world in their sleep. In order to understand what is actually happening here, we've got to learn a bit more about how Fate's universe actually works. More specifically, that Fate is technically a multiverse consisting of various parallel and
Okay, well,
adjacent
yeah, I
worlds
guess I
where
should be
historical
listening to
events
this then,
occur
right?
differently. The clearest example of
Okay.
that is in Fate Stay Night itself. The game has 3 routes, and in each one, Shiro winds up with either Artoria, Rin, or Sakura. A lot of
okay.
people ask which of these endings is canon, but the truth is all of them are. The universe allows for
Oh,
worlds
wait,
that
hold up.
differ
Does he
from each
mean,
other
like-
to an extent. I'll be
Oh,
keeping it
wait,
as
does he
simple
mean
as
like he
possible,
falls in love
since
with
I
them or
feel Nasu
something?
gets up his own
Oh,
ass with the techno
okay.
babble. Essentially, the overarching universe of Fate accounts for various possibilities for mankind to follow. That said, the universe is unable to account for all possible worlds, or if you prefer to call them, timelines. It lacks the energy to maintain so many possibilities, and so it decides to cull or trim these worlds down through a recurring process called the Pruning theoretical phenomenon. If you watched my Lore of Fate Extra, you should already be familiar with the idea as it's used in the game Fate Extella. At certain points in time, known as quantum time locks, the universe trims a lot of the more divergent timelines. The universe has priorities when it trims down its branching timelines, namely preserving the longevity of human progress. There are many timelines that wind up with humanity either going extinct, progressing too quickly, or reaching a dead end of sorts. The universe focuses on these timelines when it comes time to trim them, and the remaining timelines are part of what's called proper human history. Naturally, this is why it's so important for Chaldea to resolve singularities. They're hotspots in time where history begins to deviate from what the universe considers proper. Let these singularities influence the world too much, and your world might be destroyed or become a target for pruning. So, why am I talking about all of this? For one, because unlike the other chapters of the story so far, Shimousa isn't technically a singularity. Koldea doesn't fully understand this yet, but it's actually a lot closer to a lost belt, something that the next major arc of the story deals with going forward. In fact, now that Getia's incineration is no more, our next major antagonist starts working behind the scenes, starting with Shimousa. So, normally, timelines that deviate from proper human history will be pruned by the universe. But due to the efforts of a mysterious alien god, some of these timelines are preserved, allowed to exist without being pruned. These timelines are called Lost Belts, and Shimousa is more akin to them. It's one of these isolated worlds that continues on as an alternate version of Japan. Now, because the universe is comprised of many timelines, it's also possible for individuals to travel between them. Such is the case for two of Shimousa's stars, Miyamoto Musashi and Amakusa. Between the two of them, Musashi is by far the most
Shimousa is someone else. Okay.
In proper human history, Musashi, also referred to as Shinmen Musashi no Kami Fujiwara no Harunobu, was a man who became one of Japan's most talented
I don't know
swordsmen,
what he just said there.
To win the most undefeated duels across the land. Throughout his life, he mastered his techniques, famously defeated his ultimate rival Kojiro Sasaki, and later spent his dying days cooped up in a cave, documenting his lessons as the Book of Five Rings. Heck, a version of this male Musashi is even present throughout most of Shimousa.
So a male.
And yet, the Musashi we know in FGO is most definitely a woman.
Yeah.
In short, Fate's Musashi is not the Musashi from proper human history. Rather, she's from an alternate world where she was born a woman. This Musashi is less experienced. She's still trying to perfect her craft, and is yet to even encounter Kojiro Sasaki. Thus, she continues her pilgrimage to master the sword, and winds up migrating from her world into others. This phenomena is what Sherlock calls a mobile singularity. While this sounds cool, it's actually a huge burden. She'll never be able to return to her original world, as it has long since been pruned by the universe. On a similar note, Koldea's master Ritsuka has an affinity for dreams, and can occasionally manifest in other worlds while sleeping. We first saw this when Edmond Dantes, under the influence of Getia, held Ritsuka captive in a dream. Apparently, visiting other worlds through dreams is very akin to the race-shifting process, and continued exposure makes Ritsuka more prone to this than anyone else. Thanks to this, Ritsuka and Musashi actually wound up meeting before the events of Shimousa. Basically, Ritsuka went to sleep one night, and during a dream, wandered into an alternate world set on the island of Onigashima. Musashi, on the other hand, encountered a version of the swordsman Yagyu Muninori, provoked him, and took him on in a duel. She tried to escape through a portal between worlds, but not before incurring a strike to the head from Yagyu's blade. This knocked her out, sending her to her next world unconscious. Thankfully, it was the same world Ritsuka had just ventured to, allowing the two of them to meet and befriend each other. Together, they traveled the island, fighting against vicious demons and servants, ending in a climactic battle between Musashi and Tsukeroku, an Oni manifestation of one of her defeated foes. Before vanishing, Tsukeroku claimed Musashi could never achieve her goal, and would wander between worlds eternally. But what exactly is her goal? Obviously, to perfect her swordsmanship, but what does that look like? Essentially, Musashi aims for her sword to surpass her father's, to reach a state of emptiness called zero. Practically speaking, it is a state of being where Musashi can witness all the possible outcomes of a fight and make true the one that guarantees her victory. While she's good at doing this in general, she can't hope to perfect this technique without facing strong opponents, specifically an adversary of the opposite philosophy, a swordsman who enters a state of infinity. It's fair to say that this is easier said than done. Thankfully, Musashi was an optimist, and parted with Ritsuka on amicable terms, eventually finding herself in the world of Shimousa. The other world traveler here is the warrior Amakusa Shiro Tokisada. In proper human history, he was a soldier who fought to protect Japanese Christians living under oppression during the Tokugawa regime. He was viewed as a prophet and savior, said to have inherited power from God. Despite his best efforts, however, countless Christians were massacred in what is known as the Shimabara Rebellion. His forces lost, and he was publicly decapitated after watching his people's abuse and slaughter. However, The Amakusa Shiro we encounter in this chapter is from another timeline where he survived
Yeah,
the
of course,
rebellion,
another
living on
timeline.
with an intense hatred of the Tokugawa lineage.
Yeah, of course.
Fueled by this hatred, he too developed an ability to travel between worlds, and left his own world in search of one where he could enact his revenge. For over 20 years, he ventured from one world to another, tragically witnessing the massacre at Shimabara many times.
So yeah, long
This is
time
where
and
that
still
alien
hasn't
god I mentioned before
made
comes in.
progress, I
In the
guess,
game
right?
itself, we don't hear much about it for a very long time, and as of writing this video, there are still secrets being revealed throughout the Lost Belts released in the Japanese version of the game. Even showing you a picture of the alien god uncensored would be a huge spoiler, and I don't think now is
For
the time
real?
to reveal
Okay.
it. Just know that this strange alien god is at work behind the scenes,
Oh,
starting
so,
to sow the
wait,
seeds of conflict
was that
for the
it?
next
Or right
major
there,
story
or-
arc of FGO.
Okay.
It introduces itself to Amakusa Shiro as Satan. This happens to be an alias, but he doesn't know any better. Satan pointed Amakusa to Shimousa, where in 1630, Japan's capital was instead built around Tokei Castle. Normally, this world should be incapable of interfering with proper human history, but Amakusa saw it as an opportunity to exact his revenge nonetheless. Following Satan's direction, Amakusa Shiro went to Shimousa and met one of the alien god's apostles.
Oh,
the
this
alter
guy
ego
again.
servant
I'm
Ashina
like, I
Doman.
remember him from somewhere.
In
I'm like,
life,
oh
he was
yeah.
a Buddhist sorcerer,
Just saw
rivaled with
him.
Abe no Seimei, the priest who subdued Tamamo no Mai's wrath. Ashia became an enemy of the government, even scheming against other priests in the Bureau of Onmyo. In particular, his bouts against Abe no Seimei were legendary for the mastery of their spells. He eventually entered the Throne of Heroes as an anti-hero whose death brought prosperity. When the alien god summoned him, they did so by combining
Okay.
him with other divine spirits.
Haven't seen
creating
that
what is
version
called
of him.
High
Okay.
Spirit. It's pretty similar to alter egos like Meltrellis and Passionlip, whom we've already covered extensively. In Ashia's case, he was fused with the Aztec goddess Itzpapalotl, the evil Slavic god Chernabog, and the vengeful spirit of Fujiwara no Akimitsu. Given that he's serving the alien god, his motives are concealed, but essentially he's been tasked with trying to turn Shimousa into a true Lost Belt. That's a topic for another time, though. To recap, we've got this alternate timeline of Japan we're calling Shimousa. It is now home to two different world travelers, Musashi and Amakusa Shiro. As it turns out, having two mobile singularities in a single world causes distortions.
Oh,
In this
okay.
case, their presence causes various dark monsters to manifest. Between the two of them, Amakusa Shiro has a stronger influence as a mobile singularity, and can thus control the monsters. This is helpful for him, considering his aim is to exact vengeance upon the Tokugawa clan. But just how is he gonna pull that off? Well, Ashia Dolman has a suggestion.
Okay,
a
so
ritual
what is
capable
that?
of elevating Shimousa into a genuine threat to
Okay.
humanity.
Would
The
not want to
ritual
be
is
there.
similar to a Holy Grail war, in which the souls of fallen servants and civilians gather into a single powerful vessel. In this case, they aim to channel this energy to manifest a castle Amakusa Shiro calls Onreido Castle. It shall serve as a site where
Onreido,
they can
he said?
sacrifice a
Okay.
member of the Tokugawa, casting a curse on the entire family, in effect destroying all worlds where the Tokugawa exist. Hot damn, that'll curse plenty of worlds, including ours in proper human history. To get started, Amakusa and Dolman team up to try and slaughter everyone in Shimousa. Amakusa both summons and gathers a group of servants and warriors to do his bidding, and Dolman carves into them a curse of annihilation that compels them to kill. These warriors, including Ashia Dolman as the caster of Limbo, are referred to as the 7 heroic spirit swordmasters, each given an alternate cursed name that further deprives them of their autonomy. The heroic spirit swordmasters comprise most of the servants we witness in this chapter, so let's go over them. Perhaps the most tragic of the bunch is the Archer of Inferno, or more accurately, Tomoe Gozen from the Tale of the Heike.
Tomoe?
Despite being
Okay.
one of Oni kind, Tomoe excelled as a brilliant warrior, fighting on behalf of the Genji clan against the Taira during the late Heian period. Specifically, she fought as a concubine of Minamoto no Yoshinaka, whom she dearly loved. Together, they helped the Genji clan achieve victory, only to later have their alliance betrayed. Yoshinaka gave his life so that Tomoe could escape and ultimately bear their child.
Okay, yeah,
Naturally,
looking
this
nice
means that
there.
she has
Okay.
hatred toward the Genji clan that persecuted her husband, but as a servant, she normally puts that hatred aside to protect humanity at large. After all, she was one of the protectors of Uruk during the Babylonian singularity, fighting to her last in defense of the city walls. In this case, however, Ashia Doman's curse of annihilation takes advantage of her dormant grudge, bringing it to the forefront to encourage her to torch entire villages to the ground. In this possessed state, she is delusional, hallucinating the image of her beloved Yoshinaka.
Oh, okay.
Rivaling that tragedy is the assassin of Paraiso,
Okay, yep.
occupied by Mochizuki Chiyome.
So yeah,
She
there
was a
she goes
kunoichi,
again.
or female ninja during the late Warring States period. She served the Takeda clan, but was forever burdened by a curse she inherited from her ancestor Koga Saburo. Back then, Koga went into the depths below Mount Ibuki to rescue his missing wife. This journey took him through the underworld, such that when he returned to the surface, he had been transformed into a snake by the serpent god Yamata no Orochi. While Saburo was eventually
Oh, hold
healed
up.
by
Okay.
monks,
Wait, hold up. Let me see real quick. Oh, so yeah. Oh, wait. So did it show her? Okay, no. The eye was still covered. So yeah, she did have something there. Okay. Yeah, because I don't think I remember them like really taking that off, right? And showing that. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, I guess just something that should be hidden, right, or covered up. But hold on, let me
into a snake by
go
the serpent
back.
god Yamata no Orochi. While Saburo was eventually healed by monks, Orochi's curse still lingered in his bloodline, carrying to Mochizuki. To quell the curse, to ward off the terrifying snakes that haunted her, she became a shrine maiden, praying
Oh,
to
so
Orochi out
okay,
of
the
fear.
snake. Yeah, I can see it
Even
now.
without
Yeah.
the curse of annihilation, she carries out her lord's orders as an assassin. But if tainted even further, her madness can conjure avatars of Orochi. The next two come as a pair of sorts, the rider of Kalasutra Hell and the berserker of Samgata Hell. They are better known as Minamoto no Raiko and Shutendoji, heroic spirits who already forged a contract with Chaldea during the game's Rashomon and Onigashima events. The ones we see in Shimousa, however, are not the same, as they are separate iterations summoned by Amakusa Shiro. In life, Raiko was the child of a human and an Oni, a hybrid called Ushi Gozen. She was raised in isolation before turning 15 years old.
Yeah,
after
is
which
that
she
what
was
that
brought in by her
tail
family,
is
the
right there?
Minamoto clan, to fight on their behalf as Minamoto no Raiko. She went on to slay many monsters and Oni, as the leader of a group called the Four Heavenly Kings. As a slayer of Oni, Raiko once tried to rid herself of her demonic aspect, only to realize doing so would kill her. Thus, she is left struggling to suppress her Oni instincts, and this becomes vastly more difficult under the curse of annihilation. Shutendoji is, by extension, one of the famous Oni Raiko's Heavenly Kings defeated. Among pureblood Oni,
Oh, so wait,
she was
those are like
high-ranking,
real
governing the
horns,
Oni
I'm
of Mount
guessing.
Oe.
Then.
She was likely the descendant of Yamata no Orochi, with a powerful dragon trait that made her feared as one of Japan's three great monsters.
Okay.
Despite wielding great influence, Shutendoji indulged in banquets and alcohol, which ultimately became her downfall when Raiko and her Heavenly Kings poisoned her sake and killed her in her
Oh,
slumber.
yep, drank too
As a
much,
servant,
right?
her indulgence, combined with the curse of
Didn't think
annihilation,
she was gonna have
make
that
her prone
poison
to
in it.
tormenting her victims. While adversaries in life, Raiko and Shutendoji serve Amakusa Shiro as a team. Oddly enough, perhaps the strongest swordmaster isn't even a servant at all. Rather, it's Yagyu Muninori, the human who fought our Musashi before we met her at Onigashima. Historically, he was a brilliant warrior and politician during the Edo period, raising the social position of his clan through clever plotting. He served the shogun Tokugawa Hidetada and was a strategist during the Shimabara Rebellion. In proper human history, he was aware of Musashi, but neither met nor dueled with him.
Oh, okay, yeah, that
The
armor's
Muninori
looking
of Shimousa's
nice.
world, however, fought the female Musashi
Okay.
and has since yearned for a true duel against her. This becomes his top priority, and after being assured Musashi would return to his world, he joined Amakusa Shiro's swordmasters as the Saber of Imperio. He maintains his social standing while performing his duties as a swordmaster beneath an ominous cloak. The last of the heroic spirit swordmasters was accidentally summoned improperly. This servant, Hozoin Inshun, was meant to be the Lancer of Purgatorio, but was summoned with free will, causing him to explore the land without receiving his curse of annihilation. In life, Inshun was the up-and-coming heir of Hozoin Ryu spearmanship, which was valued for its cruciform-shaped spear that allowed for slicing, sweeping, and thrusting attacks. His mentor, Ine, abandoned the spear, declaring it inappropriate for his Buddhist faith. Inshun, however, balanced both Buddhist practices and the way of the spear, reviving the Hozoin style. He became the strongest Jumonji spearman to ever live, slaying evil spirits before stepping into the realm of gods as the Buddha himself. As a servant, he has no idea who summoned him, but he wanders the land defeating monsters that emerge from under ominous clouds. Of course, Ashiya has every intention of finding and converting him soon enough. Before we reach the main narrative, there are 3 more heroes to introduce. The first is our beloved Robo-MILF Kato Danzo.
Robo-MILF,
In proper human history,
okay.
the Fuma ninja clan was aided during the Edo period by a sorcerer named Kashin Koji. He gifted the clan's first-generation Fuma Kotaro, a Karakuri doll designed to embody Kotaro's techniques. This doll, Kato Danzo, served the Fuma clan as a kunoichi over generations, which took a toll on her body. When she became weak and unable to perform her duties, Kato Danzo took on the role of mentoring the clan's 5th-generation Fuma Kotaro, not only teaching the boy his ninjutsu, but also serving as the best mother a doll like her could ever be. Ultimately, however, by the end of her life, her limbs broke and her body ran out of mana, after which she was recorded into the Throne of Heroes. In Shimousa, however, Danzo's body was still around. Ashiya found and repaired her, but not before erasing all of her memories to make himself her new master.
Of course.
While she's not one of the sword masters, she is nonetheless another of Domon's pawns. Even with all of these strong warriors at their command, Amakusa Shiro and Ashiya still acknowledge the genuine threat that the female Musashi presents to their plan, and as a last resort, Amakusa employs the male Musashi's strongest rival, Kojiro Sasaki. If you played Fate Stay Night, you'll know him as the 5th Grail War's assassin servant. Of course,
yeah, I guess I know that now.
France, an inside joke among the FGO community because he was really useful to new players in Orléans. He's been part of the game's events, but this is technically his first appearance in a major story chapter. So who is this guy? Well, unlike many heroic spirits, who were recorded into the Throne of Heroes for their famous legends or historical fact, Kojiro's situation is more hazy. He's kinda the end result of a lot of different stories told by word of mouth. Without making this too complicated, however, let's just say he was a swordsman who dedicated his entire life to master a single technique, the Tsubame Gaeshi. It was a technique invented to slay a fleeing swallow, by slashing it not only in the center, but also above and below it. These 3 strikes are performed so quickly that they're essentially simultaneous. Tales exist of Kojiro Sasaki dueling Musashi at Funajima Island, a fight he lost when abandoning his sheath and being crushed by an oar.
So he lost.
In Shimousa, Amakusa Shiro encountered him at the Hitachi Mountains as a human, and brought him on as a bodyguard. His entire role in this chapter is to hang around Amakusa Shiro's hideout, waiting to battle the female Musashi. As with all the previous chapters of the story, we enter these alternate worlds or singularities and meet various free servants
Yeah, this is
summoned by the
definitely new.
Counterforce. The same is true for Shimousa.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Out of all those AMVs I've seen.
Has less influence over it. The best it can do is summon a single free servant to help stop Amakusa Shiro's Onreido castle. This winds up being the saber servant, Senji Muramasa.
Okay.
In life, he was a famous blacksmith who created many demonic swords during the reign of the Tokugawa clan. While he could certainly use a sword proficiently, he had not achieved anything as spectacular as other heroic spirits, and so he hardly felt worthy. Because of this, he was summoned as a pseudo-servant, with his saint graph inhabiting a human body, specifically the body of Shiro Emiya. Just like other pseudo-servants, this indicates that Muramasa and Shiro share both physical and mental similarities. Muramasa himself speculates that Shiro might even be his descendant. After first being summoned, Muramasa wasn't exactly aware of his purpose as a servant, instead witnessing as Amakusa Shiro's monsters massacred the people. Eventually, Muramasa stepped in to save 2 children, Onui and Tasuke, whose parents had just been murdered. He took custody of these orphaned children, raising them as their grandpa while keeping them safe at his hermitage, a blacksmith's workshop surrounded by a protective barrier. Finally! With all that exposition revealed, it's time to cover the events of Shimousa's story.
Okay, so yeah, here we go.
Ritsuka is conversing with Mashu about meeting the female Musashi in a dream. Coincidentally, Ritsuka falls into a sudden coma, in which their consciousness leaves the body and manifests in the world of Shimousa. It's just like what happened when they dreamed Onigashima, only now much more sudden and severe. Chaldea can't interact with Ritsuka, so instead we find ourselves falling from the sky yet again. Thankfully, Musashi sees us falling and goes in for the rescue. It's an unexpected yet otherwise welcoming reunion. Like before, we team up to explore this new land. It's not long before we encounter Onui and her baby brother Tasuke. They help us confirm the differences between Shimousa and the Japan we remember. Just as they're about to take us to Muramasa's hermitage, the sky goes dark and the armored monsters emerge. After a couple of battles against these vermin, we're saved when Hozoin Inshun rushes in and slays the rest with a single strike of his spear. Inshun explains to us that there's a sorcerer conjuring the monsters and forcing other servants to do his bidding, making it all the more urgent that we deliver the kids to Muramasa. Inshun joins us, but in the midst of a bamboo forest, we're attacked by the swordmasters beneath a blood-red moon. They demand Inshun surrender, and to buy his time,
Oh, and he
stays
got
behind
his
and
squad
fights.
too.
He does a
Okay.
great job fending off the swordmasters, but sadly they can't be killed with normal weapons. A solid stab through the saber of Imperio doesn't do a thing, leaving Inshun vulnerable as Ashiadoman places the curse
Oh,
of
wait, did
annihilation on
he-
him, transforming him into the Lancer of Purgatorio. Like the
Okay.
others, his free will is restrained.
It looked like he
instead
tore
compelled
through
by
his
a
body
thirst for
there.
destruction.
That's what I was trying to
Sadly, this means
say.
that Inshun's now out to kill us. He
Or-
tries to
oh,
warn
no,
us first
okay,
before
yep, and there
succumbing
it
to
goes.
madness and blindly attacking the party.
Okay.
Musashi notes that in this maddened state, Inshun is neither as precise nor skilled as he once was, allowing her to decapitate him. To our horror, though, he
But
simply
yeah,
picks
he
up his
just
severed head
came
and
back.
reattaches it. With no way to kill the guy, we're left making a run for it. We find a place to hide in a nearby village, and are essentially powerless in stopping Inshun from slaughtering all the villagers. After the sound of their screams dissipate, we finally make our way to the hermitage, which thankfully seems to be protected by Muramasa's barrier. Obviously, Ritsuka finds Muramasa's appearance familiar, but there's little time for greetings as Inshun shows up and penetrates the barrier with ease. To protect the children, Muramasa counterattacks with a strike that massacres Inshun's body. As the
Oh,
body
okay.
repairs itself, Inshun remarks how no technique nor blade can kill him if it can't reach his spirit core. Luckily, Muramasa's already made a sword capable of doing just that, the Myojingiri Muramasa. He considers the blade a failure, as it's unable to cut through fate, and has become a cursed sword with demonic traits. Musashi, however, ain't afraid of no demon sword, and proves herself
Yep,
skilled enough to
okay.
wield it. With the sword in hand, she is able to properly fight Inshun in a dramatic duel, slaying him due to the rough and unpolished nature of his madness. While it's great to conquer an adversary, Musashi is angered by how the Curse of Annihilation disrespects and urges great heroes to commit atrocities against their will. Muramasa takes us in for a bit, and explains he's aiming to craft a blade capable of severing bonds, certainty, and karma, basically fate itself. Since the Myojingiri is a failure, he gives it to Musashi. Our group now has another goal, to stop the Swordmasters from their rampage. For that, we require more information than Muramasa can provide, so we set out to the capital, Tokei Castle Town, to gather intel. Muramasa stays behind, trusting Ritsuka and Musashi to protect Onui and Tasuke along the journey. When we arrive, we meet Otama, a girl who looks exactly like Tamamo no Mae. In this alternate world, she's no kami with special powers, but rather a humble geisha who owns an inn. Similarly, we meet Kiyohime. Again, she is not the Kiyohime Chaldea knows, but rather the daughter of Lord Matsudaira. Her role is more prominent, being the princess of Shimousa province. These two may not be the people we know from our world, but we nonetheless make friends with them. So, this entire time so far, we've been seeing things from Ritsuka's dream consciousness,
Yeah,
but her
literally.
main body is still comatose.
All
back
that
in
being a
Chaldea.
dream, right?
The staff there aren't just goofing around. They've been trying to help Ritsuka however they can. Specifically, Da Vinci has been trying to send servants into Shimousa to help Ritsuka, but her attempts keep failing. Sherlock, on the other hand, takes a different approach. After all, Chaldea does have one
Oh wait,
servant
hold on, I gotta read this real quick. Okay, wait for me. Okay, I just had to read this real quick. Yeah, 'cause I was able to read the other one, but yeah, hold up, I had to pause this. Okay, so let me just.
After all,
Go back.
Chaldea does have one servant who can pretty much go wherever he pleases, that being Edmond Dantes. His legend of escaping Chateau d'If means he can escape any confine, including the boundaries between worlds. Thanks to this, Sherlock convinces Dantes to head to Shimousa and save Ritsuka. That said, Da Vinci does eventually succeed in getting one servant through to Shimousa, that being the heroic spirit Fuma Kotaro V. Because of this, Dantes doesn't directly intervene. Instead, when Ritsuka finds him at Tokei Castle Town, he points them to where they can find Fuma Kotaro. This is the first time Kotaro's appeared in this series, so let's go
Okay,
over
and the
him
first
real quick
time
to
I've
understand
seen
just
him
why
too,
he was
right?
the only Chaldean servant to make it
Okay.
through to Shimousa. In life, he was born to be the ultimate shinobi. His blood was fused with that of an Oni,
Yeah,
giving
see,
him
oh,
an
I
extra
didn't even
edge
real.
in
I didn't even see him
performing
in the
as a ninja.
background there.
In contrast, his
Okay.
personality was never suited for the role,
Oh, and
rendering
see
him more of a
some of
shut-in
his
than a
eye.
warrior. You might have noticed already, but this Fuma Kotaro is the same boy raised by Kato Danzo, whom I already covered. It's because there was a version of Danzo in Shimousa that Kotaro was able to be summoned. Ritsuka finds him collapsed in an alleyway and takes him to Otama's inn to recover. While we remain at Toke Castle Town for a time, Amakusa Shiro sicks Tomoe Gozen on the surrounding villages.
Okay.
After murdering the innocent
Yeah.
villagers and
How are we
tribes,
gonna deal with
he heads
this?
to Toke Castle to fight Musashi in a duel among the city streets. As Musashi deflects Tomoe's arrows, she notices that Tomoe is holding back. Sure enough, this isn't meant to be their main battle, and Tomoe flees town. The next morning, Yagyu Munenori and an army of samurai come to town, declaring their intent to quell the monster epidemic. As I've already explained, however, he's secretly the Saber of Imperio, and most wants to finish his duel with Musashi. Before that happens, however, he continues serving the government, leaving none the wiser. In that endeavor, he recruits Ritsuka and Musashi to help ambush Tomoe Gozen outside the town. Why would he do this if he's the enemy? Well, just like any other Holy Grail war, mana is gathered from both innocent victims and defeated servants. It's actually in Amakusa Shiro's favor to have Musashi fight the Swordmasters. To keep tabs on the party, however, Kato Danzo is tasked with escorting us while keeping her allegiance concealed. As expected, Fuma Kotaro recognizes Kato Danzo as his mother, but because of Ashiya Doman's sabotage, she doesn't remember him as her son. Kotaro keeps this a secret. How tragic. Despite this, it appears Kato Danzo senses something special about him, and his kindness makes her question her loyalty to Doman. Either way, she guides Ritsuka's party across a mountain pass toward Tomoe Gozen's current location. There, Musashi puts an end to Tomoe's rampage,
Ooh,
striking her
okay.
down as she thinks of her beloved Yoshinoka.
Yeah. Clean
Back
strike.
at Toke Castle, we receive word that someone is threatening to assassinate
Oh, who is that?
Kiyome,
Chiome,
so we're hired
right?
to stay at the castle
Oh, right
itself
there.
as bodyguards. That night, Mochizuki Chiome infiltrates
yeah,
the castle,
okay.
killing the guards with snakes.
Okay, yep, where there's
Fuma
snakes.
Kotaro and Musashi fight this assassin and shield Kiyohime from a pair of thrown kunai. Chiome finds herself outmatched and uses an illusion to escape. Shuten Doji, however, doesn't think Chiome's giving it her all and decides to connect her heart and brain to Orochi's power. Out of fear of Orochi's curse, Chiome normally rejects these powers, but now she is forced to embrace them and
Yeah,
returns
someone
to the castle
save
for a
me.
rematch. This time she summons Orochi, and while Kotaro and Musashi fight the creature, Chiome takes control of Kiyohime's mind. Kiyohime is compelled to murder Ritsuka with a fire spell, but Kotaro arrives just in time to take the hit for us. As the group listens to Kiyohime ranting about fearing snakes, Musashi is able to deduce Chiome's real identity. With the Orochi slain, Chiome is backed into a corner, giving her all in a duel with Musashi. Chiome is slain, and after her defeat, Kotaro notes that her kunai have yet to disappear. The Orochi's corpse also remains, and so Shuten Doji secretly gathers its body for her poison. Hoping to keep the capital's citizens out of the conflict, Ritsuka's party returns to Muramasa's hermitage. There, we learn that Raiko and Shuten Doji are massacring entire armies on the battlefield. Before we can fortify the workshop, however, Onui and Tasuke are captured on their way to the toilet. Raiko and Shuten Doji take the children to the top of a nearby mountain, demanding that Ritsuka meet them before noon, else they murder their hostages. Along the mountain path, we're attacked by another Orochi, this one summoned by Shuten Doji. Musashi, Kato Danzo, and Fuma Kotaro slay the beast, but in its final moments, it manages to knock Ritsuka down the mountain slope. We wake up in a cave, unable to move as Shuten Doji taunts us. She attempts to recruit us to her side, but when we demand she return Onui and Tasuke, she begins to tear into our stomach, stirring around our insides.
Yo,
The intense
okay.
pain knocks us out, and we
Yeah,
awaken
I don't
later
know
to
about
find
that.
Shuten Doji has spared us. What the hell was that all about? Musashi and Kotaro come to our rescue. They heal our wounds, and after resting some more, we finally reach the peak of the mountain. Raiko and Shuten Doji talk a big game, claiming to have eaten the children, but after they're both defeated by Musashi's blade, they reveal the children are safe at a nearby shrine. Onui confirms that neither she nor her brother were harmed. If anything, Raiko reminded them of their mom. It seems the two Oni were desperately trying to resist the curse of annihilation, and in their final moments, they ask Ritsuka to defeat the other swordmasters. At this point, the only remaining swordmasters happen to be Saber and Caster. Preparations for materializing Onreido are complete, so Amakusa Shiro begins the ritual. Once more, the sky is plunged into darkness with a crimson moon.
Oh, so here we go,
Toki
back with
Castle
the
transforms
castle.
into Onreido, and many of the townspeople vulnerable to magecraft are transformed into monsters. Otama helps protect whatever survivors she can, but is unable to stop Kiyohime from being captured by the enemy.
Oh,
As it
Tama.
turns
Okay,
out,
yeah, now we get to
Kiyohime has
finally
blood ties
see
to the
her.
Tokugawa,
Okay.
making her fit to be sacrificed in
Yeah, because
Amakusa
I kept on
Shiro's
seeing her from
ritual.
like what the manga or
On
whatever that
horseback,
was,
Ritsuka,
right?
Musashi, Muramasa, and Kato Danzo
Okay.
ride to the castle town, leaving Onui and Tasuke in Otama's care. We venture into the castle, hoping to somehow destroy it. Kato Danzo leads us to the courtyard, before revealing that she's been an enemy spy this entire time. She's surprised to learn we all suspected it already, but we could also see
Oh,
that
but
she
they,
truly
okay,
wanted
yeah, I
to
already
do
knew
good.
that. Okay.
She claims to have guided us as a gesture of friendship, a sign that she's gained a soul to rebel against Ashia Dolman. Right on cue, however, Dolman shows up and mocks Danzo for thinking she's gained a will of her own. He asserts that he's been controlling Danzo this entire time, and proceeds to compel her to fight us. During the fight, he forces her to self-destruct, and the ensuing explosion injures Musashi's eye with a curse that prevents it from healing. We're unable to keep up against Dolman's monsters, but Kato Danzo begins to remember her past before she dies.
Oh, okay.
She recalls being a mother to Kotaro and ceases to function.
Oh
in
yeah,
his
oh yeah, the
arms.
oh
While
yeah,
sad,
okay.
Danzo leaves behind a
Yeah, I
legacy,
forgot about
the
that.
techniques and essence of the first Fuma Kotaro, which transfer into our Kotaro, causing an ascension in his Saint Graph. Our newly upgraded ninja helps us both defeat the monsters and prevent Musashi from receiving
Oh,
the
so yeah,
curse of
that's
annihilation.
what happened to
Ashia Dolman makes his final
Musashi.
stand, summoning a great spirit to fight on his behalf, only to suffer as Musashi slays the spirit, and Kotaro slays him. It's at this point that Ritsuka can finally get back in contact with Chaldea. Why now of all times? According to Sherlock, Ritsuka's magic circuits weren't properly adjusted for Shimousa's world.
Oh.
This means that when Shutendoji was playing with our innards, she was actually configuring us to be able to reach Chaldea again. Huh. So two of the most difficult opponents in this chapter were doing their very best to resist their curse. Good on them. Would have been nice to know when Ritsuka was screaming in agony. I wonder if the manga will ever get far enough to show us that. Anyway, on the castle.
Yeah, I probably got pretty far by now though. Yeah, by the time I'm looking at this.
Another attempt to attack us. To our surprise, he's struck down by the Saber of Imperio. He reveals himself as Yagyu Muninori, and explains that his alliance with Dolman and Amakusa Shiro is only a means of getting his chance to duel Musashi again. Musashi respects this effort, and obliges Yagyu with his requested duel. She and Ritsuka stay behind as Muramasa and Kotaro move forward. Turns out, Yagyu is the perfect opponent for Musashi, because during their battle, she awakens to her ultimate attack, Kengo Bato, Ishana Daitensho. She can now finally reach the state of zero she's been aiming for. Despite this loss, Yagyu thanks her for the duel before dying.
Oh, so, and he
Thankfully, we
dies.
reach the top
Okay,
floor where
so
Amakusa
lost
Shiro
and
resides
died.
before he has the chance to sacrifice Kiyohime. While fighting, Muramasa realizes he was summoned specifically to stop Amakusa Shiro's ritual, as the counterforce deemed it a colossal threat. Even so, we can't seem to harm the bastard, and the situation gets worse when Amakusa Shiro invokes his reality marble, Shimabara Hell. We are taken to the toxic land where Amakusa Shiro's Christian brethren were slaughtered. Left alone, we are fated to suffocate and die among the chaos. But Muramasa has other plans. He uses this opportunity as a servant to finally forge his ultimate blade, the Tsumugari Muramasa. His genuine worth as a hero is in the weapons he creates, and he uses this scorching blade to
completely
slice
cut
Onreido
it
Castle
down,
in
right?
two,
Or slice
setting
it down.
ablaze as the reality marble fades around them. Kotaro takes this opportunity to pierce Amakusa Shiro with the kunai Chiyome left behind. Apparently, Muramasa's blade was divine, so powerful that only gods could wield it properly. As a result, using it even once causes him to disappear.
Oh, okay.
As the castle burns to the ground,
So he's
Kotaro
gone
rescues
now?
Kiyohime. But just before Ritsuka and Musashi make their own escape, they encounter Kojiro Sasaki, who's been waiting all this time. Once more, Musashi accepts the challenge, dueling him even though she has nothing to gain from it. Ritsuka stands by and watches as the two swordsmen unleash their opposing techniques. Musashi's style is zero, which arrives at a single result from many possibilities. In contrast, Kojiro's style is infinity, which creates possibilities.
Infinity, okay.
These styles collide, allowing the warriors to reach the realm of nothingness.
Yeah, I was about to say,
place
I
meant
don't,
only for true
I don't know about
masters.
those two,
It
what,
contains
techniques
neither time nor
clashing, right?
space, neither good nor evil, just the eternal clashing of swords. The only reason their fight comes to an end is that Ritsuka declares Musashi the winner.
Oh,
While
okay,
this
so
appears to be an
literally
arbitrary
declares
decision,
her the
Kojiro
winner.
accepts it and leaves the castle satisfied. Musashi, on the other hand, is too weak to escape. She uses the last of her strength to yeet Ritsuka out the window, trusting Kotaro to catch them on the ground below. She remains in the castle and dies among the flames. In the aftermath, Ritsuka acknowledges that they can never return to this world again, and decides to part with it after saying farewell to Onui and Tasuke. Beforehand, Ritsuka digs through the castle remains, only to find the tsuba Musashi used as an eye patch. After Ritsuka returns to Caldea along with Kotaro, Ashiya Doman emerges to reveal that he is still alive.
Yeah, but
He's
of
like
course
a
he
friggin'
is.
cockroach.
Yeah, of course he's
While talking to
alive,
himself,
right?
He admits that calling the alien god Satan was a joke that he took too far. Back in our own world, we wake from our coma, and ironically, we're told that we should go get more bed rest because what we just went through wasn't exactly quality sleep. As we head back to our room, we thank Edbondantes for helping us, though he stubbornly pretends it wasn't him. He's a tsundere. Regardless, he leaves a recorded message in our room that reveals Musashi revived as a heroic spirit following the fire. She's been registered as a servant of Caldea, and while she still intends to continue traveling between worlds, she says she will always be there to fight when we need her. Sweet! I just hope she can actually keep that promise. And with that, we've completed the third official epic of Remnant. Now all
Okay.
that's left is Salem, so look forward to it.
Okay, and I
Thanks
guess...
for watching.
Okay, that's about it. So yeah, sat here for about almost 40. Oh shoot, it is a yo. Okay, yeah, it got dark out. I didn't think it was gonna be looking like this. I'm just looking at okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, the lighting was probably pretty dark in here. So hold up, go turn my light real quick. Okay, so yeah, turn that back on. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it was too bad, right? I guess the light from my screen was still flashing right or whatever. But yeah, that was a lot to take in, right? Okay, yeah, and I was thinking, yeah, I probably should have just did a more shorter one, right? First, I guess, or something like that, and then, or not shorter one, but probably do half and half. But I'm like, you know, I might as well just do the full thing because today. Right now when I'm uploading this is Friday, right? Because I tried to give you guys enough time to vote or whatever, do all this on the poll, and then afterwards I'll do it. But I am going to be uploading it today on Friday, so yeah, I'm not going to be doing 20 minutes today and then 20 minutes tomorrow. I wanted to get this out right now so I won't have you guys wait too long, right? So yeah, there might be some things I might have forgotten there because yeah, I really was just sitting here, right? And a lot of information and the names, bro. Yeah, I hope you guys don't get mad at me. Yeah, I'm sorry about the names. I'm definitely not gonna be remembering these, right? The only ones I'm gonna remember are the ones that I've already known before I even looked at this, or the ones that you know I can basically probably at least remember, right? The easy names, right? So obviously, yeah, Chiyome, yeah, I already knew about her. And oh yeah, I guess the Danzo, right? Yeah, let's see. But I'm not even gonna do this. Look at this for too long. Yeah, obviously, yeah, how you say? Wait, Masu, right, or something like that. Yeah, I kept on hearing the name this whole time. Don't even know how to pronounce it. But yeah, I basically got the story down though, right? And like I said, well, okay, real quick. Yeah, so I didn't know that this was about, or I mean, it was about Musashi, but it was actually about a completely different thing, right? So yeah, it was kind of like Musashi's the main character of this, you know, story, but you know, it just really was about, you know, something else, kind of, right? But I thought this was gonna be about Musashi, so you know, that's why I looked at it. But even though it's not, I mean, it still showed her, right? And my thing was, you know, I just really never saw her much, right? Like, yeah, I could see her do this or do that, but most of the time it's really about the same thing, right? Um, and I didn't know much about her. So yeah, now I know these people, and then the others, that were involved with her, and obviously, or not obviously, but also Chiyome. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen her like this. Yeah, all I remember is just from Atlantis. So yeah, this is completely different. I ain't know about the thing about snakes and all that, right? So yeah, I got to learn a lot more about that, right? And I know, yeah, there's a specific reason. I mean, well, actually, I don't even know if there, if anything changes if she takes off the eye patch, right, or whatever. Um, but yeah, I didn't know that there was anything, that really happened under that. I guess, that would show this, right? I thought it'd just probably be like a normal eye, but she just couldn't see through it or whatever. I guess. Um. So yeah. Oh yeah. This is the one. Wait, let me see. Oh yeah, whatever happened. Yeah, that was unfortunate for her. I can't really. Yeah, like I said, I can't really remember everything, but yeah, whatever happened with her. Yeah, I do know. Yeah, that is unfortunate, right, for her. Um, let's see. I think. I'm just going straight into the beginning now. Let's see. Also, oh yeah, unfortunate for him too, because if I'm right, he's the one that what was it? Got brainwashed, right? Um, and then after that, yeah. Wait, let me see. Oh no, not there. Oh no, I went too far. Um, but I do know. Yeah, what was it? He got brainwashed and all that, and then after that. Yeah, basically was unkillable, right? Like, yeah, you literally couldn't do anything until, or unless you could get to his, what was it, spiritual core or whatever. Um, so yeah, like I said, I don't remember everything, but at least do know, some things about him, right? Um, basically, like at least what part of it. But unless you guys just summarize it in the comments below, right? And then I'll just read it then. Um, but yeah, other than that, yeah, that's pretty much about it. So yeah, a whole bunch of swordsmen basically just fighting each other, right? Or at least trying to fight Musashi. Um, but yeah, I'm happy though, because at least I got to at least see more of her, right? Um, and it's like, yeah, there probably could have been more I could have looked at, but at least I got to actually see part of her story, what happened to her and all that, what she like what was her main goal and all that, right? um Basically just get to know more about her. So yeah, Muramasa. Okay, yeah, Muramasa. Yeah, for a second there I was about to say, yeah, they keep on, well, not keep on showing him, but yeah, he pops up, but it's like he's barely even doing anything. He's basically just chilling, right? you know with these two kids. So it's like, yeah, he's just chilling over here, but now he eventually did something, right? Not saying that he didn't do anything at all, right? But I'm just saying he was just over there chilling. I'm like, okay, bro, what is he supposed to be here for, right? And then afterwards, yeah, he was here for the what was it? Yeah, him right here. I think he was supposed to stop him from getting brainwashed or whatever, right? Or turning into this, right? Unfortunately, he did, right? But yeah, was able to at least still take care of him. So okay, yeah, I'm not gonna say that they died because I think Muramasa is still alive, but he just disappeared, right? So yeah, unless I see that they literally died, like if Otaku, yeah, if he says that they literally died, then okay, yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, they died, but yeah, if he says that they disappear or something like that, or if I see them, kind of going away, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, they could just summon him again, right? But yeah, that's about it. So yeah, you guys, you guys better be lucky, because yeah, I really was about to do a part 1 and a part 2, but I decided to just do all of it, um, mostly because of Musashi, right? But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Just seeing here, who else? Oh yeah, he didn't even show this, did he? Yeah, he didn't even show who that was. So yeah, I guess I just find it out later. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. So yeah, I'm really just seeing if there's anything else I missed just before I leave here. Okay, so yeah, there's nothing else. So yeah, I'm gonna just end it all. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe again, and y'all see you guys in the next one.